Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Collector Chatter podcast. This is episode 16. I am Miguel, and I'm here with my co-host Charlie. As always, we'll start off with the news. One of the big ones I want to start off is one of the new lines. So we've been seeing, I think, a trend actually this year is seeing a lot of new lines and new things that Funko's
Yep.
experimenting with. It seems like, and one of them was the Popsies. So that was something I saw it right away, and I didn't love it. I was like, what is this? It was a little confused. I personally thought it looked like a Cos Baby. I said it
Yeah, I agree.
to Charlie right away. I was like, these look like a Funko Cos Baby. It's kind of funny. The style of them, they are like a little figure, but I believe they're meant more like to give as like a gift or a message or something because you
Yeah.
press a button and something
I'm
pops up or something.
I mean, to me, I personally think they're brilliant. And it's not necessarily the way they look, or I think the whole concept about it is yes, they're a greeting card essentially. They are going
Okay.
to be they're exclusive to Walmart as of now, and they will be in the greeting card aisle. At least that's where the new CEO said they should be in the stores. And it is, yeah, it's supposed to be a replacement for a card. I mean, I'm someone who thinks like the whole giving cards, like it's nice to read when people give you personalized messages, but at the end of the day, it's like I feel like sometimes cards can be a waste, especially when
Yeah.
if you want to get like some of the nice cards are kind of expensive for what they are. So why not add this little special thing? I know Hallmark does something like this with, I don't know if you're familiar with, they're called itty bitties. They're like these little plushies of all different genre characters. They're exclusive. Hallmark makes them, and I mean they even have con exclusives of them. They're a pretty big deal, and I think this is Funko trying to copy them a little bit because they do make ones where they shrink wrap them into a Hallmark card. So then when you
Okay.
get the card, you can legitimately take it out and you have the itty bitty. I feel like that's what this is. It's kind of a way for them to continuously make money in a new product category, which whoever thought of this, like I said, I know a lot of people online, I feel like are giving this line hate, but you got to think about it. It's not just a new line of as a collectible. They went into a new category for the company, which it's like, I don't think these are going to be limited. At least the vibe I get, like, I think they're going to mass produce these constantly. I'm sure they're going to keep coming out with new ones, but you're never, the idea of it is you shouldn't go to a Walmart, and I'm assuming then it'll extend to other stores and they're not in the card aisle.
Yeah.
Like I
That
would like to
that's
get one of these as a card.
That makes sense. So when you look at it that way, I guess most of our community and Funko collectors and stuff, like these toys and these figures. So when they see Funko doing something a little different than this, usually right away, unless they really know what it is, they're probably thinking it's just another little figure that they're adding to, a new thing that we need to get. But I guess when you look at it that way, like as a card, as a greeting, it is interesting. It's cool. It's just Funko's stamp on it, basically meaning that they're the ones that are making it. It's going to resemble like what a pop figure will look like. I guess it's also similar to like when they came out with the ornaments, they teamed up with Hallmark for that. And it was like a pop figure looking
Exactly.
thing, but it was an ornament, right? So it's just, yeah, their hands into another bucket at that point. But I get it. I mean, they're a huge company, they're making money, they're looking outside of just one. You don't want them to only be selling one specific thing. As a business, I guess it makes more sense anyways. And like you said, it is funny though, because us being so deeply
Yeah.
into Funko, we notice that they do bite off of a lot of other companies or other people in the
Yes.
sense that if somebody's doing something, they'll kind of get in there and try to do something similar and name it a little different, which is funny, but props and kudos to them. But yeah, one thing I did notice is there is a ton of them. They've
A
dropped
ton.
their initial wave and it was already like 30 or 40. There's so many different figures. So at that point, any character, any genre or fandom that you are, you could probably get one of these for someone as a greeting, like you said. And yeah, it's going to be something that we're probably going to see all the time. It's not, I don't think it's going to be limited at all. I don't think these have any type of limitedness to them. I don't even think the ones that are now all coming out at Walmart say like that they're exclusive to Walmart, even. I think they're just the only ones carrying them, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they have a sticker or anything that says
Yeah, I don't
Walmart,
think they
right?
have a sticker either. I think the
Yeah.
initial thing was like, hey, they're just going to be sold there. Just like the ornaments were only sold there. They were
Yeah.
on funkoshop.com as well. Even with like they made wrapping paper for the holiday season, it was
Yeah.
only at Walmart. They clearly made like a pretty big deal with them. And one thing I found interesting about the Popsies, though, once again, Star Wars is missing, which leads me to believe there's something in that contract that needs to be renewed that's allowing them to make new collectibles. I know we have heard now maybe sodas are coming next year, but it's like there's no sodas, there's now no popsies. Like, it's interesting to me that a lot of the new product categories that are coming out don't have Star Wars.
Yeah,
There's a reason
it
for
has
that.
to come back to that licensing and that agreement or contract or whatever they have, which, like we said, maybe it is something that's going to change. But initially, like you said, I didn't even really know. I noticed that there were so many different ones. I guess I automatically thought that there
You would
was Star
assume.
Wars one, and I didn't even think there wasn't. So, but yeah, I mean, let us know what you guys think, because it is kind of it's a funny looking line. But I guess if you see it as like for what it is, it is a greeting card. It just happens to be a little character, and if it's a favorite character of someone, it's the same thing like you going and buying a card that just happens to have a picture of Grogu on it or something.
Yeah.
You know, like you would get that for somebody because they like that, not because you're a
And their big
hardcore
thing
collector or whatever
was
that
like,
is.
hey, I know there's plenty of people who save every card they've ever been given, but I know a lot of people open the card, they read it, they kind of throw it out. Holiday cards are probably a little different, but they were like, hey, you get the message, it's a greeting, and then you get a little collectible. It's like you're getting a present within the card. I think that's their big pitch with it. And that's also that. I mean, that's why I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought they were interesting. They're funny looking, but they're interesting.
They are
So
funny looking.
look out for those if you're at a Walmart. It seems like they're starting to hit shelves. We also had a pretty big Funko Soda drop announcement, at
Oh
least
yeah.
in terms of a big wave. Very excited for this. Every time they've been dropping these new sodas, I know we talk about it all the time together, and we're usually 90 to 95% on board with all the ones that they drop, and maybe passing on one or two. And this time was just the same. I mean, we had Yako from Animaniacs, which I think that is sick because that's an
Awesome.
awesome cartoon.
You're
So
going
you
to
know
get
that,
them all down.
yeah, you're gonna get the rest of them for sure. We had a DC character, Plastic Man, which I thought was also cool because it's like a side character you don't really think of. So it's cool that they put that. It also lended pretty well into a figure.
It's pretty cool. It's funny. A movie of that was actually supposed to come out with James Franco before he got canceled, which is
Oh
interesting.
wow,
So
that is
I'm
interesting.
curious if they're going to bring that back. But I like that it was like that's like a DC hardcore fan type
Yep.
character, which I've always really liked about the sodas.
Yeah, so that was a cool one. One of the favorites of this entire thing was the Oompa Loompa.
Oh yeah,
I know
it's
we got
amazing.
the Willy Wonka one already that's going to be coming out, and in this wave we got Oompa Loompa. He's holding the chocolate bar as the chase, which is so sick. That's of course from the original Willy Wonka, not the Johnny Depp version. Then we had Lemon, which is of course a candy.
Yeah.
That was cool. It had like a glitter chase. Silent Bob, of course. We got Jay announced from the last wave. Now we got Silent Bob, so that one's an obvious one to come out. We had Bluto, which is from the Popeye line, which is cool because Popeye was just recently announced. We had a Captain America. So this one I found interesting because it is a comic book accurate version. And we talked about this a few times when it comes to Marvel sodas. All the Marvel sodas have been MCU style characters, except for the Thor, which only has come out as like the comic book style. And this is one of the older comic book style looking Captain Americas. It's also interesting because they already have a Captain America with the Winter Soldier style version,
Yep.
and there's even a Captain Carter. So they're kind of like getting more of those, but it's cool to get another Marvel soda regardless. One of the sodas that I think they're just doing too many of is the Motu ones, and we had a Snout Spout, I think his name is.
Yeah,
There's just
I agree.
an insane amount of Masters
I mean,
Universe
we've
sodas
said
at this
this a
point.
million times. It's clearly someone's like favorite show from their childhood, and they don't care. They're going to make every character, and that show has a lot of characters. So like,
I was
they're
gonna say, I'm
running with
surprised
it.
there's so many.
There's so
characters
many. I
anyways.
mean, there's so many. So they got plenty to go.
So then we also had Edward, which is a Cowboy Bebop character. That one kind of dropped afterwards, which looks pretty cool. And then one of the biggest ones, I think, honestly, it's going to open up a whole nother door, is the very first Disney princess and
The
is Ariel,
yeah,
which obviously for many reasons, I'm definitely going after that one. That one is an Entertainment Earth exclusive. So I did pre-order that. My wife, of course, is the hugest Little Mermaid fan. I get pretty much all the pops for her. So as terms of sodas, like this was when I was like, you know what, I definitely want to get it. But like I said, I think it's going to open up the door because now we're going to get princesses. We have to. We had Maleficent. We have a few villains, a couple little ones here and there that are Disney. And now we have the first princess. So you know that Cinderella, Jasmine, the rest of them are going to be coming soon.
I really hope they're
big
not
wave.
all Entertainment Earth exclusives though. They seem to be getting one every drop now, and it does seem to be the Disney banner of brands, but
What was the last one?
Agatha from WandaVision.
The Marvel one, yeah.
The one before was Creed from The Office, so that's obviously not. But I'm just curious. Every wave they keep getting one. I
Yeah.
just hope it's not like every Disney princess one is gonna be an
Yeah.
Entertainment Earth. Like that would.
Yeah, I
I
would
don't know.
hope not.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing that, but I mean, we never know, But at least we got those. But yeah, that was that was something I was very excited for. Obviously, we're big soda collectors. We also had a couple pops that popped up here and there. Carl and Ellie 2-pack is coming out, a new one with the balloon cart. It seems like they're making a lot of these.
They're making
I mean,
way
I
too
get it.
many,
Yeah,
in
it's
my
a
opinion.
popular character. I like that they had the first two maybe, or now at this point like 3, 4, 5, whatever. But the first couple were pretty cool. They are awesome scenes, but I think because they got so popular and they see it selling, that's why they're gonna
Yep.
keep
I kind of
coming
wish
out
they came
more.
out with, if they were gonna make them all like one a year. There's always been like a big icon exclusive one.
Mhm.
I kind of wish they just like kept it to that,
Yeah,
but
it's
it
getting a
clearly
little too much. It's
sells.
a cool pop. It's a great pop, but like you said, yeah, in terms of like completionist wise, and it's just like there's too many.
There's way too
But
many.
it does sell. That was one. We had a Beauty and the Beast line, so the new line recently dropped as well. That one actually came out, so that you can actually purchase it. I think that's actually out. It's not like an
I,
order. I
I
think,
I
or
think it's a
some of them were.
I think it's a pre-order still.
Is it some stuff's on Funko
It
from
is of
Beauty
the
and the
new stuff
Beast?
already.
Yeah, I think some of the
Oh,
stuff
I didn't realize
recently is.
that.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff recently dropped, but it's a pretty decent sized line.
It's pretty
Um,
big. It's basically most of the main characters,
yeah,
minus Mrs. Pot and Chip, weirdly enough.
yeah,
But
they didn't have those.
yeah, I don't know why they have made them in the past, but it's an anniversary line. They're pretty. I mean, they're pretty cool looking pops. It's a big line. I'll probably there's a Funko Shop exclusive one which I thought was pretty cool of Cogsworth, which I may try to grab that one when it comes. It has a chase.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was a pretty cool line if you're, the Disney fan or Beauty and the Beast.
yeah. So yeah, so that was a cool one. I mean, we're pretty big Disney fans, so that was something that was pretty exciting. We also had Flock. I saw Flocked Felix, a cat, so that was pretty
Yep.
cool. Flock pops are cool, so that was one that was recently dropped. And then we had some pretty new news. So just today, as we're filming this, they announced the newest die-cast pop. So it's gonna actually be. So we were wrong.
Yeah,
We gave some of our
I'm
guesses.
shocked.
This, to me, after I saw this, I was like, I get it. Like it does. I
Me
could
too.
see that being it, but I did think it would be something else. And we did guess right that it would be another DC character because the first two were Marvel. Then we had DC as Batman. So it's the actual Wonder Woman. So I think it'll be cool. She has a shield. She has a shiny looking armor, like,
It
outfit. So
looks
that
pretty. It's
probably
a
will
cool
look
mold.
awesome. Yes, and
It's
the
a cool
mold
mold.
is good. It's a good motion of her. So it's cool. And it is a Funko Shop exclusive. So if you guys listening to this in the morning, it will be 9. Is it 9 or 9:30 Pacific time?
I think
I think
9, but I'm not
it's 9.
positive. I don't want to give the wrong time,
Yeah,
but
I would rather double check. It's either 9 or 9:30 Pacific time, which obviously on the East Coast that makes it 12. 10, 11, 12, yeah, 12 or 12:30. You double check on that, but
it's
it is
not.
going to
It's
be
9:30. 9:30 a.m.
9:30.
Yep.
Okay, so 9:30
So
a.m. on
12:30
Pacific.
Eastern.
So 12:30 Eastern. That will be dropping on Funko because it is a Funko shop. So they're letting us know ahead of time. They've been doing this, like letting you know about a half hour beforehand. So it's interesting that something dropped the night before. So maybe because they anticipate this being a pretty big drop. So far, all the diecast stuff has sold and sold out pretty fast. But however, for the most part, I believe, except for maybe Iron Man, they all have restocked at one point, which I'm assuming they all will kind of do that. Seems like they kind of hold back on some and then restock them. But this is another one that is an actual Funko Shop exclusive, so it's only being through Funko. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely grab it. We're pretty big diecast, fans ourselves
Yeah,
for what the stuff that came out this year.
I think it looks
But yeah,
amazing, but I do it weirdly enough. I feel like this will be the least popular of the four. I don't think I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna want to get it immediately, but I feel like,
yeah,
you mean the Iron Man one was hanging around for a little bit? I feel like this one will as well,
yeah.
but
I could see it selling out, but not
it'll sell
super
out
fast.
within the
Like,
day. Yeah, but it
yeah,
won't be like immediately. And because I was thinking too, part of me is like, I would have bet money it was just going to be Superman,
yeah,
but
that's what I would have thought.
I'm wondering if it's because, I'm sure there's talks that go between, WB like DC with Funko about some of these lines. It's like, Superman's not a priority for them anymore right now. Like Henry Cavill's not coming back as Superman. They're starting a whole new thing. So it's like, this is our big line. Like Wonder Woman at this point is like the cream of the crop from the original Justice League characters, what Zack Snyder started. Like Gal Gadot's still part of their movie
Mm-hmm.
universe. I feel like that's why they're making her over Superman. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't see, I just don't get why they don't have a Superman one.
Yeah, it makes sense in the sense of, like you said, it's just something that is kind of like in the now. There obviously was a recent movie not too long ago. She had like an anniversary line of pops and stuff,
Exactly,
or
which
all those
didn't
pops that
seem
kept
to
coming out.
sell. So
Yeah,
it's
it,
just
it
it's
didn't.
interesting.
So I do think, if it was Superman, it would have been one of those ones that sells like that, because Superman has a fandom on its own outside of Funko where it definitely would have helped. But it's one of those things that we kind of talked about when it came to why aren't they making too many Superman things, like some of the original Superman pops and stuff, and how they don't make those as many. So I guess we'll see. I mean, it's a cool one, like you said. It's one that I definitely want. I do love the line so far. I It worries me a bit though that this is the fourth one to come out, because now it makes it seem like they may milk the line a little bit. If,
Yep.
in my opinion, she's not the fourth most popular of these, I would think. But like, could see her coming out eventually, but maybe coming out so soon is making me think like they're going to come out with a lot of different other ones in this line. But I guess we'll see. I mean, it's the fourth one only in the line, and they all dropped this year. So it is one of the big things from this year that I did want to cover anyways, because the diecast stuff I'm a big fan of. But yeah, that was one thing. We also had a pretty cool thing called Hidden Gems of Funko. We talked about this last week because it was actually dropping on Monday. And on the Funko Shop website, they did this in previous years. Basically, they come up with a little section called Hidden Gems, and it's supposed to be stuff that they find, or extra stock, or restocking,
Yep.
basically like exclusives or different things like that, and maybe potentially some new stuff. And on this drop, a lot of it, I think I want to say it was like 11 items, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
of them dropping. They dropped like 4 or 5, and then they like would add another one every few minutes, and then eventually it was about 11. They were all pretty much restocks except for one, which was the soda, which was an
So
SDCC.
random.
Yeah, an SDCC Toucan, which is like the mascot of San Diego Comic-Con, Toucan Soda, which dropped. And I believe even up until right now, which is a week
It's
later, it's still
still
available.
available. I'm shocked.
Yeah, super. I was very shocked. I didn't, at first I was like, oh, this is super cool. It'll probably sell super fast. And it was limited only to one. So I was like, all right, so maybe it won't sell super fast because it's limited to one. And then they opened it up where you can pretty much buy as many or
And
whatever.
it's just an 8,000 too piece,
And
right?
exactly. And I was going to say, it's not a super high piece count. It's got a flock chase, which flock chases are awesome. It's a pretty iconic character for the most part. I know those toucan pops, those weird like
Well, yeah,
tiki and whatever, sold super fast.
that's what I wanted to bring up, which makes no sense to me. Like, I'm shocked at how fast the pop sold of this character, but the soda didn't. Like, there's pop, like it. I'm just so surprised by it, unless they were super limited and we weren't. I don't remember there being that limited of a count on the pops.
Yeah, I don't I don't know. I think this is what I was trying to think of it, because I started saying, like, what, sodas are popular. Everyone, well, it seems like a lot of people are liking them. We're getting more people into liking them. They're dropping so many. The waves are getting bigger, so obviously making money off of it. But then I started to think, and I was like, when did this like shift of where stuff drops on Funko Shop soda wise, right? And it usually sells super fast.
Yeah,
Still to this day, you'll kind of get some that sell like that, but I feel like overall it's not. And I think it's because of the price increase. I think
probably
that the
right.
fact that the sodas went up so much and they're now $15, or actually more than a standard pop, is kind of gotten people less off, not going after as many. Because even right now, even though it's a pretty high piece count, there's the Deadpool soda. Deadpool is a super popular character.
It's still up there.
It's still up there. They're still available.
Wow.
Now there's 15,000, so it's a big piece count. But of course, it's been other websites. It's not like Funko only has all
Yep.
15,000, but it's still up there. And it's got me thinking, like, maybe sodas aren't selling as often because of the price, or what, because I don't think it's the hype or the people not wanting them. Because in my opinion, they did really well this year, and I think they're going to continue to do really well. But that was just like one thing I thought of,
Do you
because
think
yeah,
they
the
would
toucan I can't
ever,
believe.
let's just say what your theory is correct, and I think it is a really good theory. Do you think Funko would ever, if they notice their sales are going down a little bit, would bring it back down. Maybe not to the original price, but there was just too big of a
I don't know.
jump. It was too big of a jump.
Yeah,
Of a
it went from
price.
12 to 15, and I don't know, like, what do they bring it down $1 and people will like want it, you know, or if they get to 13, it's like, I don't know. I don't see them doing that. I think they're still selling them regardless. I think people will still
Yeah.
be buying them. Maybe it's just not going as fast like what we were so used to. But I don't know. It's interesting to think like the 15,000 count isn't as surprising for that to happen. But with this limited toucan one, which is only 8,000, maybe people just really don't like it. But I figured any soda collector would still want that because it's still a cool one. It's an actual like icon to like
Yeah,
Funko,
it's
you know,
cool.
like an actual like person, or not person, but like character. So I don't know. It's weird. It's like something I think we can go back and forth on because I feel like we don't know for sure what is going on. But that was like one thing that you just came to the top of my head. Like maybe it's this reason. And I mean, I'm sure people could chime in, you know, in the comments and let us know if that's the reason why maybe you guys aren't going after them or what you guys personally think about it. But yeah, that was something. But yeah, hidden gems wise, there wasn't too many other things. I know they restocked the Jimi Hendrix, I think, right? The Black
They
Light.
did, which sold out
I think
like
that was,
instantly.
yeah, that one they must have only had a handful and it sold super fast. And then a few other random pops that I didn't, nothing too crazy. A few that I had. They did have another soda, the Batman Beyond, which sold out super fast. So again,
And
that was probably one they only had a few of.
the Count Dracula one as
The
well. Count
yes, the
Chocula, sorry.
metallic, yeah, the metallic Count Chocula, the Funko Shop exclusive version, which was another one that was a low piece count, so they probably only had, you know, a handful here and there, and they just kind of threw those out there and they sold out. But yeah, the only other thing I wanted to kind of touch on, because I know you've been really big on it, is the NFT drop, which was the Bob Ross.
Yes.
This was an interesting one. So we talked about it last week that it was going to be dropping. We talked about how obviously Charlie's been very lucky every single drop recently. He has been able to get the redeemable version of the card, which gives you an actual physical pop, which is super cool. You're kind of more into NFTs. You like collecting them. You know the aspect of like how they're an investment and you can, you know, whatever. Me, not so much. Like I get it, but I'm not too hardcore about that. I'm more into it, like I've said in the past, more as like a lottery. Like I'm going to try to put a couple bucks in, hope I get some cool cards to get one of these physical pops. And that's what I would want. If I don't get it, I don't get it, but I don't go too crazy about it. The Bob Ross dropped and I didn't think about getting any at first. And then I said, you know what, let me just try it out. And I got a couple packs, got some pretty cool cards, nothing redeemable. If you saw on our channel, there was a short that Charlie obviously dropped, and you did,
Yeah.
and you got two.
I got
time,
two
right?
redeemables. I got the Grail again, and I got another legendary. I mean, I am obviously loving the NFTs and Funko. Weirdly enough, I've said it earlier on in one of our podcasts. Like, I definitely was not into NFTs. I didn't get the first few drops. When I finally did, the Funko got me into them. I'm not going to sit here and say like I'm a crazy NFT person now, but I've gone onto a platform, which I don't know if any of you have heard of, VV, which they're one of the big ones right now. They have a lot of licenses. So they have like the DC license, they have the Disney license, like Marvel, Star Wars. So the other day, you know, they dropped like a Steamboat Willie NFT. That's like one of my favorite characters of all time. Like, and these things sell out in legitimately seconds. It's like you can go on YouTube and watch videos of people teaching you how to refresh your phone, how to click the button right when it says buy now. It's crazy. I got one of the Steamboat Willie ones, which is blowing my mind because it's like one of the hardest ones they've been able to get. I've missed a ton of the other ones, but yeah, it's Funko's gotten me more into them, and I mean, I think they're pretty cool, but I'm really enjoying this line. I think it's probably, I mean, my luck's been pretty good, so it makes it more fun. If you don't, I can see when you don't get the redeemable ones, especially for Funko, you know, it does, you know, it's a little a letdown, but it's still, I think it's been pretty cool so far, especially that they're continuing with the redeemable ones. But the Bob
Yeah.
Ross ones, like as Migs was saying, it was interesting because it's the first one, to my knowledge, that didn't sell out. And they only allow them to go for sale for an X period of time. And once that time ended, they ended the sale. And from what I have read, is all the packs that didn't get sold were actually burnt. So it actually makes the Bob Ross ones now, some of the pieces, more limited because there's not as many in circulation as they would have expected if they all sold out from the beginning.
Yeah. And And yeah, I was looking at it too. There was 18,000 packs that did not sell, which this was actually, I believe, right, the first time they
The
didn't
first
sell out
time, yeah.
of any of the packs. And we have, pretty good reasons why we think it didn't. Um, I think most people are probably like, oh, maybe it wasn't popular, it's Bob Ross, whatever, so whatever. But I don't think that's the
Yeah.
main reason. I think he is still pretty popular in terms of just people knowing who he is and being very famous. But we obviously know that there is a lot of controversy behind his estate and whether they're basically not getting paid out on anything that is sold with his
Yeah, they
likeness
don't
after
like
him
his
passing.
family and whatnot. They do not own like any, like they don't get any money from any of his likeness or anything. So a Netflix documentary had come out, which was pretty popular. And I think his fan base, is pretty popular. I was saying offline before, I mean, Bob Ross got a Popsy. I mean, he's
Yeah,
Funko, it clearly sells, like he's in a bunch of their lines. So people kind of, and I had read, because I have joined some like NFT, community groups on, social media, and people were boycotting it because they didn't want to support it, which is interesting. I don't know if Funko now regrets it. I hope it, like, I don't know if they now was a bad look for them to have done it, but that's, I think, why they didn't sell.
yeah, it's interesting for them to see like what do they think now. Like, oh my God, was it like should we have dropped this because of that? And did they think it was going to be affected that much? Because obviously, if they did, they
Yeah,
probably
they
wouldn't have
clearly
dropped
did
it.
it.
But the only thing I could say is when you said so now, obviously 18,000 are gone. There was obviously still a lot of them out there, but that does make each piece count. The commons, there's less of them. The rares, there's less of them. The legendaries, less of them, because those packs that had them are gone. But I don't know. Do you think that makes these more valuable because now they're actually less? Or do you think that the value won't be affected because there's still that huge group of people that don't care for this? So they're not really going to buy it. So it's not going to necessarily be a demand for it
I
that'll
think it
raise these
makes it
prices.
more, I actually think it makes it more, luxurious to NFT collectors because they know there's less remain now, in my opinion. Because the people who didn't want to get them, they just didn't get them. There were still people who did want to get the NFTs. And, I know some people were kind of scratching their heads like, damn it, I should have bought some more packs. Like I should have went
Yeah.
back in there and got it, because once again, I'm still learning about, trying to become more and more knowledgeable at NFTs. But from what I read on a Discord, they didn't know that they were going to burn. Like they didn't know what was going to happen with these extra packs. So when the person who runs, I think Drop is the name of the company that
Yeah.
Funko, yeah, he came on and was like, yeah, we're burning these packs. So when that happened, people were like freaking out that like they were going to become more valuable.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I guess we're going to see and
Yeah.
wait, and see kind of what it feels like. The pretty standard common and stuff. You're probably not going to see too much of an uptick on those, but obviously you have a grail, you have legendary. That just also means that the physical pop version, once you do redeem and get those, is probably going to be ridiculous because it's going to be even more limited. At
Yes.
that point, it's like something super sought after, I'm sure, at that point. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, that was the news for this week.
One
That
more
was
news things I
the
want to bring up though,
oh, one
actually,
more.
because
Go ahead.
it's a unique one. On Tuesday, Microsoft is going to drop on Xbox.com a limited edition Master Chief for the 20th anniversary of Xbox and Halo. You only can get it there. I think it goes on sale at noon Eastern time on Tuesday, and it's pretty limited. It's got like a special sticker on it. It looks pretty cool. I definitely want to try to go after this one. It's just not a normal thing. I know there's Halo lines, but I think it's pretty
Yeah.
cool that Microsoft is an Xbox or making an exclusive one coming from their shop. I think it's fun sometimes when you can get these random pops from like a very unique place, and this being one of them. I know it's their property, but it's not like they sell any other pops on their website.
Yeah, getting it through them is what'll make it. And it's like you said, the original, it's like the old,
Yeah.
OG Master Chief style. So that's pretty cool. There's a huge, I mean, that's going to be big though, because in the other side of things, putting a pop now on a main site where other will go to for not pop related things
Yeah.
is going to bring more eyes to Funko, I'm sure. So that'll be interesting to see how many they make of it. It's like you said, there's a limited number of them. So I'm
Yeah.
sure
And you
that's going
can
to be
get it
something pretty hard
separately, or you can get it with a bundle that I think comes with, and they're not Funko
with the
products.
Xbox.
It's not even with the Xbox. It's like with a keychain and one other, type of product like that. So I'm
Nice.
curious if some are allotted per the bundle, or when you buy it, Microsoft just like puts it within this package. Like it's just a deal. I'm not, they haven't
Yeah.
really specifically said that, but I just wanted to make sure I let everyone know about them because I thought it was like a pretty cool one that, you know, kind of, I think went under the radar.